Greeting, traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? Addio! We're gonna be rich!
I have no time for games.
Inferno! You require my assistance? Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
Good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Yes, we get to start making our hump day jokes. And yes, we are one day closer to the oh so lovely weekend. But more importantly, Wednesday means it's Tavern Talk, the show where we like to make hot takes and bad takes alike, sometimes in the same sentence, usually multiple times a night, depending on how we're feeling. I'm, of course, one of your co hosts tonight, JR Juggerlaw, and we are still in the middle of playoffs where we have a lot of exciting matches to talk about. A bit less than usual, of course, but a lot of excitement nonetheless. But I've got three very, very talented players joining me tonight who are going to help me talk about these matches. First, of course, we've got the man who loves to OP this show. He is the master of OPs. He is not a doctor, but as I've established before, he is very much part fish. Say hello to Dr. Fish.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be back for another wonderful episode of Tavern Talk. Things are heating up. Things are definitely heating up in playoffs this season, so we
Mhm.
got a lot to talk about.
There is going to be a lot of fun banter and fun predictions to go around. The next person, who, of course, is my other regular co host, he's a man I've compared to both a flower and an element on the periodic table, but y'all just know him as Geranium Battle. Say hi, Geranium.
Hey. I am excited to be here. And, with playoffs being halfway through, half the teams being eliminated, that just means that I'm going to get half as many predictions wrong this week.
I want to say you're wrong about that, but that's actually pretty sound logic, so I'll give you that one. And of course, you guys could probably tell we have a fourth person joining us tonight. We have a very special guest. He is one of the best 5 seeds in all of THL, which is saying something considering the steep competition we have there. You've seen him in, I think, at least 3 different series over the course of his time here. And he's named after a very beloved, at least in my opinion, cartoon character. Say hello to Roadrunner.
Hello, glad to be here on Tavern Talk. Thank you, everyone. Super excited to be here.
Meet.
Meet me.
Exactly.
Love it.
If
Yeah,
he does that all night,
welcome,
though, I'm gonna
man.
take back
Roadrunner,
everything I said.
one of my favorite opponents in DHL. Unfortunately, we've managed to dodge each other a lot of seasons. But hopefully we'll get to have some more battles in the future. But yeah, we usually start our show off in the hero series, and we've got only a couple of things left for we've only got a couple of matches to go over tonight, but for the first 2 series. But hey, there's still a bit to talk about. I have to pull the match up. But we're going to hero series to talk about our quarterfinals matches.
Yep.
We have the very interesting outcomes from last week. As you guys do know, Heart Center did not happen last night, but I also don't have any updated brackets. So we'll just be going over it as we go along, and I will be changing the specific series flag on the fly. So our first match, if JR would be so kind as to go over this first match, we have our team with the top seed remaining in Hero.
That's right. We've got ourselves. So, for those of you who don't know, last week's Hero Playoffs was absolutely nuts. Unfortunately, there was no Heart Center episode last night to go over all the details, but long story short, the top 2 seeds going into this playoffs were knocked out last week. We had the Golden Wisps being the 1 seed being knocked out by the 8 seed APM Yang, and we had the 2 seed NPH being knocked out by the 7 seed of, oh god, who was the 7 seed? I'm blanking already. I believe it was crap.
But
Sorry.
F2L Black, excuse me.
Yeah.
F2L Black. Yes.
F2L
Sorry.
Black.
Oh my god. So right now the highest seed remaining is at Diamond, who is the 3 seed, and this week they're going up against as I said, the 7th seed F2L Black. This one I am very excited for because after seeing F2L Black make a huge win last week, including Neji Boston getting his first win of the season, which
1-0 in playoffs. Let's go.
Which is one of the weirdest things I've ever said, but I digress. But at Diamond has been really strong, especially in the last few weeks. Their 5 seed, of course, has been struggling, but they've still been managing to get a lot of success between their other seeds, especially their 2 through 4 seeds. Turtle, Wild9, and Diamond are just on a tear right now. And I feel like that's going to be the big hurdle that F2L Black has to overcome. Because right now, I'm fairly confident that Always Just in Time is going to beat Neji. And I feel very confident that, or not very confident, but slightly almost as confident that Totino's Pizza is going to beat Super Buckles. Those middle seeds, though, are going to be very interesting. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this match.
Yeah, I mean, all these players are super duper cracked. like one of the only seeds that I can actually even predict here is Super Buckles versus Totino's. I'm sorry, Super Buckles, but you can get points. You can get points at least. I just feel like you only get one win a season sometimes. And then for the other matches though, it's actually pretty dang even. I know Justin looks like he's winning a lot more, but Neji had a lot of game fives this season, so I'm still going to give it to Justin. I just think the prep is real. And then I am going to give it to Turtle over Rebob. Just, you know, I back Turtle even though Rebob is proving himself in every single category, every single section. And then I'm going to back Wild9 over Itachi. And I'm going to back Diamond over Dr. Fish. And I'm going to back Super Buckles over Totino's PC. It's a 5-0. I'm calling 5-0, even though I just said Super Buckles would lose.
Sure.
Wow. I gotta say, Geranium, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, Turtle did beat Rebob in the regular season. Oh yeah, Turtle like the last time we played I was playing in the I was in the 5 seed last time, so I played Super Buckles, and it was and I won 3-1. Diamond played Shu, and I believe Diamond. I don't think Diamond swept. I think it was like a 3-1 or a 3-2 for Diamond. Wild9 versus Itachi, I don't even remember. And Justin beat. And obviously Justin, I don't know, maybe that was the week Justin didn't play, I'm not sure. But if Neji did play Justin, then Justin obviously won, but I look at Neji's record, he still got like 2 points most. Kind of crazy. Eddie subbed in. That's right, Neji played Eddie. I think that was a 3-2 as well.
It was a match, yep.
It was a 3-2, and then Neji beat Eddie in the MT, which was so funny. Which is like that he kind of got his. He kind of like in the MT went through like revenge tour, beating 2 players in a row who beat him in in Hero. But I mean, this is a super interesting matchup. I think the top 3 seeds are all super close. I think record wise and just trajectory wise, I'm pretty much unfavored against Diamond. But I think that I'm gonna put up a good fight. Buckles versus Totino's. Like I will back. Like in general, I'm gonna back my team. Like I'm gonna make the Quas pick. Everyone but me wins. But this is gonna be a good match. A great rematch. Our teams. I think our match was like separated by 4 points in the regular season. Something like maybe something like a 14 to 10.
15-14.
Oh, 15-14. Oh yeah, it was the 1 point match.
Oh, that's
There
right.
were
I remember
4
that.
3-2s.
Yeah, 4 3-2s, and then my match.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah.
4
3-1.
game 5 to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyways, Roadrunner.
Yeah,
what does Roadrunner think about this?
Yeah, so I was just looking at the matchup, and yeah, it's definitely very close. As I think a lot of playoff matches tend to be.
Mhm.
I think I was on actually for the draft series back in like in between seasons last time.
Yeah.
I was on a team with Justin, and he's just so amazing. Like his I think most of all his sense about like his game sense about like what to do in different times, and like what almost like what role you're playing in the game, I think is just really good. And yeah, I have a lot to learn obviously but about that. But anyway, um so I think I'm going to give it to Justin in the 1. And then I think I'm going to give it to Turtle in the 2 and Wild9 in the 3. I do think though that Fish will come through and get the win for F2L Black in the 4, and then Totino's will also get the win. So I think that Diamond will take it, but it'll be close.
Vote of confidence. I'm happy.
This is tough. I mean, like I'm always a good fan of a good underdog story, but at the same time, like the thing that makes it hard for me to bet against at Diamond is, well, frankly, it's that core in the middle, because when I think of Turtle, Wild Nine, and Diamond, um, I feel like these guys are very clutch players. They get big wins when they really need it. And that's not to say that obviously Rabobson, Itachi, or Dr. Fish don't, but when I'm looking at like the comparison's sake, I feel like just more inclined to think that at Diamond is gonna get those clutch wins compared to F2L Black. So I think this is
Mhm.
gonna be a close 3-2 from at Diamond, but I'm prepared for another upset from F2L Black, just because I don't think people were expecting them to come out on top over NPH, and look what happened. So I'm gonna say Justin, Turtle, and Diamond get the wins for at Diamond, but Rebobson and Totinos make it close.
I will say, JR, that I don't think there are any underdogs here.
That's
F2L Black
fair.
is 4 out of 5 members of the finalist team from last season. Um, even though yeah, they have a losing team record, but they're almost right there in points. Like
We're
it's
just minus a mile.
yeah, it's
It's a Milo. Wait, is he 25?
No, Owl was our fifth member last season.
Oh, I thought you meant like Milo. Never mind.
No,
I
no, we
misinterpreted
had no.
that.
I'm just saying like
No,
our
right.
team was
Milo
ever
was
yeah.
right,
Anyways,
right. Anyway,
um, yeah.
but I think that's a valid point, because obviously F2L Black, just because their record's not as stellar looking as at Diamond, doesn't make them any less capable of winning this match. Um, but yeah, I stand by my pick, but Geranium is also very much right. This is really anybody's match.
yeah, this is David versus Goliath. If it was just two Goliaths,
Mhm.
there's no David.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to quote us later on that
I
one, I can
think
tell.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Out from an outside perspective, I would favor at Diamond. But from a team being on one of the teams, like I obviously know how our team, like I obviously know that like our team is much more talented than like some of the matchups show. It's gonna be fun regardless of what happens. It's gonna be a blast for these two teams, and um just to kind of keep things rolling, we have another hero match. We have our other semifinals match. Um, yes, if anyone wants to go ahead and take this match.
Well, how about one of the people playing on it?
Oh, I see what you did there.
What?
I mean, fair. I don't want to cover both matches, but I'll at least
Oh,
say, yeah, this is the APM mirror match, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
sorry about that. I'll take it then.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that you covered the other
Yeah,
one. Okay.
JR covered the last one.
Yeah, this
You
is
Amazing.
this is a classic Chinese mythos. You know, this is the yin and the yang fusing together, and really no one can come out on top. But we're gonna have one of them move on from here because it's APM Yin versus APM Yang. Um, J Rich in the one versus Genji. JR Juggerlaw in the two versus Jammies. Venus Moni in the three versus KSW. Already losing 2-3 here. Trito 2 in the 4 versus Yfair, and Snipe Hunter in the 5 versus Nomad Farmer. And yeah, I mean, even with the crazy records that Snipe Hunter and Genji have had this season, I don't want to count their opponents out just because of where we are, just because of how much people have had to win and get points on their way here.
Yeah, this is like it's so funny when I look back at, because being on the PAL podcast and actually putting out my thoughts on teams every week. I I was very low on APM Yin in particular because of the conference, and then they just come out and get the 2 seed. overall out of they get like one of the best. They get one of the top 3 seeds, and they proved me completely wrong. APM Yang also I had not making playoffs, and they proved me wrong, made playoffs, and then took down the number 1 seeded team. And these are some stellar matches. J Rich versus Genji. I think I'd have to pick Genji. I think I'm inclined to pick Genji to win here. Obviously it's not like in any of these cases it's not really that surprising if the player I don't pick wins. But I think Genji. Now, I have classes to work with. We have Druid, Hunter, Rogue, Shaman versus Druid, Paladin, Shaman, Warrior. For JR versus Jammies.
Yeah. Because we
They
are
are
playing
playing.
tonight.
So yeah, they are playing. So I really should just refrain. Because 2 of us in here are going to be casting the match after. Gosh. I think. Ooh. I think I think JR's. I like JR's classes. Obviously, I mean I think that all these classes that these players have brought are all solid brings in general, and they brought the 2 classes that I would classify as like probably the best brings for THL.
Classify. Ha ha.
Yeah, I like because I think Druid and Shaman are both so good right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say JR squeaks out a win over Jammies tonight.
Woo!
Trito versus Wyfair. I'm gonna say that one goes to Trito, and Snipe Hunter versus Nomad Farmer goes to Snipe Hunter. APM Yin goes to the finals.
Yeah. I will modify that with a quick answer of I think Genji and KSW will be the wins from APM Yang.
Yes.
And it will tie. At a 14-14.
And then Yin makes it on winning.
Unfortunately, Yin will make it from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's difficult for that to happen because if there's a tie opportunity and a team's already won, I guess it would have to be that 2 matches have been played and it's gone, and it's like gone to the point where a tie can happen on something like a sweep or whatever.
No, notably for that to be the reality, Genji would have to sweep J Rich. So
yeah,
it's a big ask. But
yeah.
Like J Rich, like we talked about this before, he went from being 0-3 to 5-3
to 5-3 to 5-5. So he's
right.
Hopefully he can turn it around and stop the losing streak here against a very strong player. And I imagine that Bone Masters just kind of got to have kind of like the best of both ends, just kind of seeing both teams prep and kind of get to see the fruit of his labor of his teams just doing extremely well. So big ups to Bone Master for putting together APM Yin, and big ups to KSW for putting together APM Yang this season. So yeah, it's exciting.
I will say this is one of the things that's most interesting about this match for us is that Bone Masher had announced from the beginning of the week. Right. He basically said, I'm here if you need like assistance with scheduling matchups, but that is it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was like, I wasn't like so surprised by it, but I guess I was like, damn, like he's just as involved with both hero teams as I probably would have expected. So I was like, all right, good for him for
I think it's
managing.
I think it's the fact that he can just see both.
Well, yes,
teams.
that is part of it too.
So.
But like he's, from what I gather, he's been like giving each of his teams plenty of attention. So
that's good.
Like the man knows what he's doing. I was very grateful when he invited me to join the team this season.
Yeah.
And I mean, no matter what, I'm happy we made it this far. But I want to go all the way. I want to go all the way in that make it all the way in that championship.
Definitely.
And get myself a second hero title because that would be very nice.
For sure. Right, Roadrunner. What do you?
Yeah, so actually it's kind of interesting. I haven't faced like very many of the top seed players, obviously, because I've usually pretty much just been a 5 seed. So I'm gonna say, I guess I'm gonna say Genji takes it in the one because he's got the better record. Like I don't really know either of them though that well. I'm sorry if you're watching. um, yeah, and I think looking at the classes submitted from Jared Juggerlaw and Jimmy's, um, I think with the yeah, so this is really interesting because you got the druid, hunter, rogue, and shaman against the druid, paladin, shaman, warrior. So for that match, so that's really interesting. Gosh, I hate the caster curse thing, but yeah, I'm not. Oh man, that's gonna be a close match. I bet that'll go to game 5. But
Awesome.
yeah, I think Juggerlaw can squeak out a win. So we'll go Genji, Juggerlaw, JR Juggerlaw, and then
Yeah, thank you.
obviously
Thank you.
KSW. Yeah, yep. And then KSW has already won, so I think yeah, KSW won. um, and then yeah, I think Trito can get the win, and I think Snipe Hunter can also get the win. I've played Snipe Hunter, and he's awesome. So yeah,
Hmm. I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate that the support. Obviously, no matter what happens, I'm rooting for whichever team wins this wins it all. It's
Mhm.
APM is getting a championship, so
They're getting
let's do
they're
it.
getting a finals. They're getting a finals.
Yeah,
JR, run it back.
one
Hold it
of the
back.
teams making
Right.
finals. That's cool.
Roll it back a little bit, JR.
Yeah. So
Last time, last time I said that I was getting a championship, I was up 2-0 in matches, and then everything fell apart. So
In my defense, I'm not saying we're definitely going to get there. I'm saying I'm trying to be positive and hopeful.
yes,
So,
we take
like,
that.
trust me, I'm very much aware of what's the word I'm looking for?
Too much hubris.
Ego. What's damn it? What's the hubris?
Yes,
Hubris.
hubris.
I'm very much aware of how that works and how that
Mhm.
tends to bite you in the ass when you least expect it. So I am not going to fall for that.
Yeah.
Is
Fair
there
enough.
anything else we want to add, or shall we move on to Pro Series?
I don't think so.
think we can go to pro.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So moving into pro series, I'm gonna go ahead because this is a match I anticipated after I saw what was gonna happen and going into playoffs, and this one is for the boys versus F2L. So we've got just I mean, there's a lot of super good matches going on this week for this one. We got Chicken versus Marty B. We got Dabs versus QSNS. We've got German Chef versus Robobson. Jake Weiss versus Berserk. And we've got Dardar Binks versus Itachi. Yeah, let's see. So last week for the boys took down, I believe, Taggers, and F2L took down Popeyes. Move on to the semifinals here. And I unfortunately didn't get to look and see exactly how they won, like how many matches were played and everything like that for the both matches. I think F2L went. I think a lot of matches were played in the F2L series. But yeah,
Yes.
I think this might be the end of the line for F2L. I think for the boys, it is so good. In general, just like 3 of the players here have won pro championships. Dardar Binks has won. I believe Dardar Binks has a championship in Legacy on Foolish Madmen, and Jake Weiss is just an outstanding player who regularly qualifies for Masters tours. But it's not to say that the F2L team, obviously they're gonna prep this team. They have 2 absolute prep monsters Actually, they have at least 3 of them with Itachi, Robobson, and Marty B. I don't know too much about Berserk and QSNS when it comes to preparation. But I will also say, I think for the boys, with the people they have on their team, also probably have really good prep. So I don't think there's any I don't think there's going to be any preparation advantage. So I think for the boys does get there. I think Super Chicken takes it. I think Dabs takes it. Chef versus Rebob is interesting. I'm gonna say that Shep takes it though. I think Berserk in the 4, and I think Dardar in the 5. I think for the boys is just so good. They're all season they've been one of the top pro teams, and I think they're gonna end another top pro teams run for the title in F12.
Okay, so for your info, by the way, for last week, F12 played all their matches for the boys, played 4 out of the 5.
Yeah.
And both of them ended with 14 points on the week. So for the boys, just getting a bit more from their loss there. And yeah, I mean, F12 took out, as you said, F12 took out Popeye's Spicy Chicken Sandwich. For the boys, took out Taggers. With the people who won being Super Chicken, German Chef, Dardar. Dabs lost in Game 5. And then F2L, it was Marty B, QSNS, and Berserk won. And as for this matchup, I mean, hey, I pulled a diamond. I flipped a coin. And wow, with one coin flip, For the Boys wins 5-0. What?
with the coin flip,
Say,
everybody
what?
wins their matches.
Wow.
So we're saying it's gonna go essentially 3 or 4 matches depending on points at that point.
What a diamond coin flip.
Yeah.
It is just funny to me how Diamond. We have 2 playoff matches that involve Diamond's team versus F2L.
Yeah, it's true.
Not sure how that played out, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, and there's always opportunity for that technically to happen in Legacy as well. So
That's true.
Of course, Diamond's not the captain, but it
Right.
is still with Diamond
I was
on the
gonna
team.
say,
It is still one of his.
He's still
teams.
alive in all 3
Yeah.
of those series.
Yes.
But I will say, it's like looking at pro, not to get too off topic, but it is very interesting, like to see like we had some big teams make it through the first round, and we had some big teams not make it. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
like Clowns Reloaded didn't make it through.
Rest in
Popeye
peace.
Spicy
Rest in
Chicken
peace to
Sandwiches.
Clowns. Yeah.
Like I feel like all 4 of these teams that made it are really strong, but it's like, I feel like considering like Clownstone was at the very top of their conference, we were all kind of expecting them to make it. But I mean, not quite, I guess.
Yeah. No, it came down that one came down to the final match.
Yeah,
and
we'll get to that in a bit.
And we'll get to that one when we talk about the next match.
But in terms of this match, I will say I feel like this is just such a toss-up. Looking at like the records, like the records are identical in terms of match records. Most of the records from player to player are from player versus player are either identical or very close to identical. I'm sorry, none of them are identical, but they're all very close. So, like, frankly, the only matchup I feel confident calling is Super Chicken versus Marty B. And even then, I still think Marty B's got a really good shot. I feel like he's very underestimated.
He's a really, really good open deck list player.
Yeah, he's found out that this is really his strength.
Yeah.
Playing in like Pro Series and Wild Series, less so playing in Legacy and Hero where deck lists are closed and it doesn't necessarily, and having to like adapt to whatever your opponent brings. Some people prefer the former, some people prefer the latter.
Yeah.
But he clearly this is clearly his strong suit. So even against somebody like Super Chicken, I could see him taking that one. But oh God, you know what? Just to even things out, I'm gonna say F2L wins this match. So I'm gonna say I'm basically going 1-1 with Diamond versus F2L.
Gotcha.
I will also that the Super Chicken strat. So you're talking about Super Chicken versus Marty B. The Super Chicken stratus did not play in playoffs at all. So
Wait,
we'll see
why?
if he ever. I don't know. He just always schedules his match pretty late, and then usually his team wins by then.
Yeah, he didn't have to play in the. He didn't have to. He did not have to play pro finals
That's
last.
awesome.
He didn't have
That's
to play pro
hilarious.
finals last season.
That's incredible.
All right.
Oh yeah, and final thing is F2L was the last black team currently in.
They are the
playoffs.
last team from the Black Conference. Yeah. Also, Chicken says playing Friday afternoon was gonna play tomorrow, but moved it back. Very likely due to the deadline changing. Also, I will say, deadline changed to Thursday. Don't forget you have an extra day to submit your classes and your lineups. Unless you're playing on Thursday, then submit tonight, please, in courtesy to your opponent.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's always good to do an extra day just
Yes.
so your opponent can prep. So
Unfortunately for me, this is having no impact on my one.
It
match
is
this
not,
week,
unfortunately.
so-
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on
we'll
how you
see.
look at it, I guess. We'll
Yeah.
find out.
Guess you still have locusts.
But yeah, no. Popeyes was the only pink team to not make it.
Yes.
To the semifinals, and F2L was the only black team to make it. And again, this was a very stacked playoff. So I feel like this is going to be one hell of a semifinals, and then after that, one hell of a finals.
Yeah. So.
I mean, whew.
All right. So why don't we let Roadrunner give his input on the match, and then afterwards we can go to the next one.
Yep.
sure. So this is just the for the boys versus F2L, right?
Yeah, just for the boys versus F2L. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I think I'll give it to Super Chicken in the one. I think he's definitely a solid player. Especially with his don't play in the playoffs strat. I think that's really gonna, come in clutch. No, I'm joking. And then I think I'll give it to Dabs. And then I think I'm gonna give it to Rebob. Because Rebob is also a good player. And then what was I gonna do? Yeah. So I think it's gonna be Berserk and then Dardar. So then I think I will give it to For the Boys for this one, but yeah.
Yeah. Solid prediction. I mean, Rebob was just in the 1 seed 1 week ago. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have one more match to talk about, and it wasn't the match I was expecting, but here we are with our final match here. We've got Brushy Tuna versus No Pros here, and the last person who has yet to read off the match and go through things is Roadrunner. So why don't you go ahead and talk us through this one?
All right. Also, if I'm looking to the right, it's because it's my second monitor over here. So
Sure.
let me just move this up. Let me just move this back over here one second.
All good.
Okay. So, all right. So we have McBanterface in the 1 seed for Brushy Tuna versus Agent PWE and No NPH. And then we got in the 2 seed we got Lotus Knight versus Your Merked.
Your mom kid.
Your mom kid.
Your mom kid. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Always
it's
pronounce
hard
that
to read
wrong.
that.
Yeah,
his opponent gets murked,
I
so
always
it's
make that mistake. I'm so sorry. Your mom kid. And then we got Ron Mexico versus Xkume. And then we got R Hat versus QAZ1291. Then we got Bazed Inc. versus J Rich. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting match too. I think that I will probably give it to I'll give it to Banter in the 1. It'll be close though. I think that PW is equally a solid player. I just, Banter is a GM, so I'll give it to Banter. And then in the two, I think I'll give it to Lotus Knight. I think that, both Lotus Knight and your Mom Kid are both solid players, but yeah. And then, so Banter, Lotus Knight, and then I think Xkume will beat Ron. And then I think R-Hat will beat QAZ. And then, maybe I'm biased, but I think Base is going to win just because she is also my captain and hero. So
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly good reasoning.
Seems
Yeah.
pretty sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just be biased, think,
it's awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, they did actually face, by the way, earlier on in the series, in week 2 actually, but of course the teams looked very different back then. The only player to win from No Pros here was Agent Pee-wee over Based Inc.
Yeah.
in the 5. And then it was just quick the other matches. It was Raw Mexico versus QAZ, Lotus Knight versus Xkume, R-Hat versus Your Mum Kid, and McBannerface versus J Rich.
Oh yeah, I remember that
There's
match.
there's no repeats here.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and so I'll just mention briefly, Brushy Tuna took down I'm forgetting who they
Last week.
Everyone's a winner. Brushy Tuna beat Everyone's a Winner, and No Pros here beat Clowns Reloaded. So, MPH kind of playing spoiler like last season. Last season they came in, they took down two they kind of squeaked into playoffs both of the last seasons, and they've managed to have playoff buff, and they've made the finals the last 2 seasons. I obviously don't know if that's going to happen this season. It's only the roster's only different by 1 player. So it's not like these players are all experienced for sure. And Brushy Tuna has been in the semifinals before, but has never made the finals. So I think overall I favor Brushy Tuna. I don't think there's no super lopsided matchup in this particular set. Banter versus PWE. I'm so happy this match is gonna be on stream. I'll pick Banter. For that one, Lotus versus Ked. I believe that one's also gonna end up being on stream. And I think I'm gonna pick your Mum Ked over Lotus Knight. And then we have Ron versus Xkume. I'm gonna pick Ron. QAZ versus R-Hat. I'm gonna pick Hat. And then Base versus J Rich. I'm picking my legacy teammate, my AFG teammate. And I know that she's so good at the game. It's so surprising to see Base at 2-7 in Pro. Pro is very difficult, so I don't usually come in expecting to know which players are going to have super excellent seasons, but you don't expect certain people to have bad seasons. And I think Base turns it around and helps her team get to the finals. So I picked Brushy Tuna. But No Pros here is dangerous in general. So they're all going to be close matches, but I think that Brushy Tuna will get more wins.
This is annoying. It looks like the site won't load what happened the week that No Pros here.
What happened to
Was won't load the thing that last season No Pros here's run.
they beat Bread Ape.
They beat Bread Ape.
They beat Bread Ape in the semis, and I think I don't remember who they beat in the first round. They might have beat like
They beat 5 Boxing Wizards.
Five Boxing Wizards. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They beat the
top
Wizards
team going in.
Yeah, they were the best team out of Pink Conference last season, which was Diamond's team last season. Yeah, and then they beat Bread Ape, and then they lost to For the Clowns.
Yeah,
So we
in
do have a
finals.
chance to see somewhat of a rematch of finals if MPH gets there and For the Boys gets there, because they are obviously the two teams that you'd have Chicken and Shep representing the former champs.
This time it's a lot less easy. There's no Donde on Brushy Tuna, so I can't just make that choice.
When in doubt, blame Donde.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. Oh man, I would have said that No Pros here just completes the run from last season and just makes finals here. But Brushy Tuna is such a force this season. I'm gonna say that. Oh man, I'm gonna say it all rides on McBannerface versus Agent Pee Wee. Pee Wee versus a GM.
That should be the
Pee-wee
last
versus
match
a
of the
Worlds
series.
Player. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it actually goes even before then. I think it's probably J-Rich and X Kume that take their matches. And yeah, and then it's super close.
Yeah. I will say my one interesting fact about No Pros here versus Clowns is that the only that it was a 3-2 match. The last match was Pasqua versus I believe Pee Wee, and every GM on Clowns Reloaded ended up losing their match while Neji and Nails won. So it's
the irony.
It's like obviously like all these players on that team had I think those players all had 2 wins, or sorry, 2 losses or 1 loss besides Bank Yugi on the team all season. And I think that they just kind of they just all had rough weeks at the same time. I mean, really, like nothing to take away from No Pros here. Beating 3 GMs in a best of 5 in a week, separately is amazing. So that's why I'm saying it's a close match. But I will. That's why I'm saying it's going to be a close match at least with the points.
Yeah. There was only one GM that didn't make playoffs this season.
Yeah.
And then this last week, every GM lost except for McBannerface. So
yeah.
And that was on stream.
Big fan of Kyle.
Like, wow, he just went on a tear.
Yeah, he had an excellent match against Memnarch. Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Definitely watch that if you watch the VOD if you get the chance, and not just because I got the opportunity to cast with the awesome Denkus dad.
Yeah. So that's the first set of matches that we have. We have Legacy now left to go, but we're gonna take a little break here to give you a little bit more information about what's going on in THL.
Yep, definitely ready. Definitely have my thing copy pasted, everything too. Thank you so much for tuning into Tavern Talk. If you are enjoying our show, make sure you check out Around the Saloon and the Maniacal Tournament series on Mondays. That both of those are definitely still happening on Mondays. And Rubber Ronani Chicken on Heart Center on someday you'll never guess. Perhaps you're looking for the missing 4th series or looking to the Wild West with Wild and Out. Are you still asking where's my content? Or we stream THL matches each night from Thursday to Sunday, starting at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. All evening match schedules are being determined by caster and player availability. Side effects may include knowledge and fun. But wait, that's not all. We also have incredible matches on weekend afternoons on School Stone. Precise times and days are subject to availability. Speaking of which, please consider subscribing to our Twitch channel. This subscription enables the THL team to cover the various costs of operating a website and improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. And I see someone asking in our chat, what is Twitch Prime? Oh, let's go, Bowmasher. Thank you. Well, if you have Amazon Prime or Prime Gaming, you sub to the channel for free. So hit that heart button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team streams live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest. The website is at teamhearthleague.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord at Team Hearth League, and the THL POW podcast is having its last episode this week, wherever podcasts are sold.
Pow, one last time for the season. So yeah, thank you so much for that wonderful commercial break. And now we're gonna get into our final series. We have Legacy still in quarterfinals because of how many teams are in the series. But we have the top 4 teams are now coming off bye week. So we're gonna start. I'm just gonna go ahead and do these matches in order of seeding. So we will cover the 1 seed match and then 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed. Pretty much what I've been trying to do this entire show. So
Exactly.
why don't we go ahead and do same order that we did for the first set? So JR, why don't you go ahead and cover this match?
Cool. Yep. So this is, I believe, the 1 seed versus the 8 seed, or correct me, right? You said?
Yes, this is
Okay.
the 1 seed versus the 12 seed because Chaos Theory was the
right.
lowest scoring team coming into playoffs.
But it's reseeded after.
Yeah, so it's 1 seed versus 8. Yes.
Okay. Just Win is oh my god. So Just Win, as you could tell from the team name, is the team captained by the man, the myth, the legend, always just in time. And Chaos Theory is the team that is basically the true underdog story of this season. A team that has been so close to making playoffs so many times and finally did it. And now they find themselves in the top 8, hoping to pull off a pretty big upset here. This team has been regularly captained by Isocles since its inception. It's gone through various roster changes. This one might arguably be one of the strongest that they've ever had. And coming into this, I think they actually have a pretty decent shot. We've got, of course, Always Just in Time versus Lawful Dog in the 1, Infinite versus Isocles in the 2, Wild Rose versus Chewy in the 3, Pokemon 661 versus Risen in the 4, and then Skirt Reynolds versus Kotamora in the 5. It's interesting because if I'm going purely off of, rooting for the player who has the better record, then Just Win would win this one 4-1. But I do not think so linearly. So for that reason, I am going to say that as much as I love Justin, I love these guys, and I had the chance to actually chat with Pokemon 661 after I randomly ran into him on ladder, I gotta go with Chaos Theory here, pulling off the big upset. So I'm gonna say that Isocles, Chewy, and Lawful Dog are gonna take wins here and just get that 3-2 victory overall. I do still think Pokemon 661, who is absolutely nutty in the 4, and Skirt Reynolds, who's on a tear of a season right now, are going to win their matches. But yeah, I say Chaos Theory upset 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, last week Chaos Theory had a pretty interesting result to have an upset against Pod People, where all 5 of the matches ended in 3 games. Yep.
Every match was a sweep.
Sweep in the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and not only that, but they alternated. It was the the 1-3-5 that won for Chaos Theory here, and yeah, I mean, look, you can come here with your miracle story and your playoff run and your Cinderella slippers and all that, and I think Just Win is just gonna take it. We just keep winning here, and I think
just keep winning, just keep winning, just keep winning.
Exactly as you know what I said, Isocles, come back down here to the 3. Come back down here, Isocles. We want you. We need you in the 3. We need more good players in the 3 here. And yeah, I think Skirt versus Kotamora. I mean, Kotamora had an insane season 2 seasons ago. It is not 2 seasons ago. Skirt Reynolds is having an insane season right now. And he is skirting all over everyone. So Yeah, I don't know. I think that the win rates do in fact tell a story here, and that story is just win.
Yeah, it's tough to not look at this and think that because Just Win looks pretty favored on records and on paper technically, but it is playoffs, so things can happen. I mean, Justin versus Lawful Dog is very close. So I think, I think, hmm, I'm gonna say Lawful Dog gets that one. I'm gonna say Isocles wins the two, but I'm gonna say Wild Rose, Pokemon, and Skirt win out for Just Win. And that bottom, we were talking about that core for at Diamond and Hero, and that's the core for Just Win. And Justin at 6-3 is technically there as well. But I think that's how it's gonna go. Just Win advances to semis, barely.
I will say they did also play week 1.
Yes.
Just to put more info out there, and Just Win won 4 matches to 1. Just in Time was the only one to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I've assumed that Infinite played Chewy and that Wild Rose played Isocles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody else was the same matches. But yeah. Skirt in the same seat as me again in playoffs. It would be interesting to get to play him one more time. I don't think we're on the same side of the bracket, so it'd have to be in finals. But
Roadrunner,
yeah.
I not only am curious about your predictions here, but I'm also curious if you've played both Skirt and Kodomora.
So, yeah, I did play both of them, and yeah, I mean, both of them are amazing players. I think, yeah, I'll switch it up. We'll go from the 5 to the 1 this time. Because I guess that just flows better since I already started talking about it. I think Skirt does take the win versus Kodomora. I think that's my prediction. And then then Pokemon takes the win over Risen. And I think Rose takes the win over Chewy. And then Justin might do the chicken strat of not having to play.
No, Justin plays
Are we
tomorrow.
really gonna call that the chicken
No,
strat though?
Justin plays Justin
No,
Time
no.
plays tomorrow, so that can't happen.
Oh, he plays tomorrow, so his is before.
Yeah,
okay,
he played.
so I guess
Justin plays tomorrow at 10 p.m. on stream.
my fault. So I
No
think
problem.
Justin will take the win against Lawful Dog.
And Infinite gets the.
Well, I think Isocles gets the win versus Infinite.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the only.
I think Skirt's the last match this potential. We'll see.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
I did it in weird order.
Oh, it's
then,
all good.
my
No,
fault.
I'm just like looking. I just like was looking through the match scheduling. It's always tough. Like I always like to predict these, even though I like to predict them, even if I know when the matches are being played. Like
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's so I know I'm calling it the chicken strat. I'm gonna say it's originally the Pee Wee strat.
Wow.
Oh man.
having teamed with Pee Wee in playoffs for an entire season.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. This is a fantastic match. We have a bit more to go. So I don't want to dwell too long on any one of these matches just for time's sake. So yeah, next match we have guess I'll let Geranium go over this one.
Yep.
Why, of course. Because we have Clownstone Academy versus the Cooler. The 1 seed from the Gold Conference versus what I think should have been the 1 seed in the Silver Conference. But anyways, Clownstone Academy has Neji Boston in the 1 versus CBX 1 on the Cooler side. Based Inc. in the 2 versus Superhero. Diamond in the 3 climbing up to face Bremen. and Corridon facing Icer, two people who should not be in the 4.
Mhm.
And then finally, Dr. Fish versus Snipe Hunter in the 5. Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of super powerful players on both sides of these. A lot of players who actually have really shown up this season. I know that the Cooler didn't have as stellar of a record last season, but they really have proved their weight in gold here against gold this week. Even
Mhm.
I man, I think it's really hard to root against Based Inc. But I can root against Neji. I think CBX 1 will take that, and and then I think Corden. Like, okay, I always say Corden is a super consistent player and should like trend towards a winning percentage here. And I think that's the case, but I think Icer really, really should be doing that too. So I'm gonna put Icer over Corden. Remember, Icer used to be in the 2 here, and then Snipe Hunter versus Dr. Fish. I think Snipe Hunter's season. I'm sorry, Dr. Fish. So I think it's close. I think it's gonna be CBX, Icer, Snipe Hunter for the Cooler to take it, and still close.
I concur. I think this is a fairly close match in more ways than one. I think despite the fact that Clownstone Academy had a greater sense of dominance over their conference compared to, like, the Cooler did obviously get very close to getting that bye. Like we had previously talked about, the Red Conference was extremely tight Silver Conference, right?
Yeah, silver.
Yeah, sorry. The Silver Conference was extremely close in terms of the top 4 teams. The top 4 teams we all expected made it, but boy, was it tight for that top bye spot. So I think going into this, it's like you've got 2 very formidable teams where I think if the Cooler won, it wouldn't really be that much of an upset. And I say that knowing that, again, Clownstone Academy, absolutely stacked team. They've got, like, every single person on this team is just a force to be reckoned with. And Diamond, of course, just Diamond is going on an absolute tear. Same with Base. Like, they're both, like, this team has a really good shot. But pretty much all of these teams are in the same boat. Both these teams are in the same boat of they've got 4 players that are really well, and then only one player who has more losses than wins. So with that in mind, I'm gonna say I do think Neji's gonna take 1. I think Base is gonna take it in the 2. Diamond is gonna take it in the 3. I do think that let me see. I think Corden is going to take it in the 4, but I think Snipe Hunter is going to get that ever so slight edge over you, Fish. But I'm still saying 4-1 Clownstone Academy.
Yeah, I'll let Roadrunner. I guess I'll let Roadrunner do his, and then I'll take the last word, and then we'll go to the last one.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So, yeah, 2 extremely strong teams here. So it's very hard to yeah, I do agree though. I think Neji and Based will take it in the 1 and the 2 respectively for Clownstone. I think Diamond will also take it in the 3 for Clownstone. But I think Icer and Snipe Hunter will take it in the 4 and the 5 for the Cooler. So I think Clownstone will win, but just by this close. So yeah, that's probably my predictions. So.
Yeah, this match is it's a really gonna be really testing, especially for me because I'm going up against arguably the best 5 seed in all of Legacy in Snipe Hunter. His record's deceiving because he has 2 DQ losses this season. So in matches he's played, he's 6-2. So it's really difficult to, like, there's not a whole lot, like, there's a good chunk at the end of the season that's kind of difficult to kind of judge because he did play. He played last week, but before then he had not played for he hadn't played for the past weeks, due to taking DQs. So super
I will say
interesting.
that-
He's an
sorry to
extremely
interrupt,
good player.
if he was 6-2, he would be, I think, like fourth best 5 seed. We
Some-
had Skirt Reynolds, Swebe, and Chewbacca all having better records.
Yeah, he would have been 5-2 at the end of the season, and then he would have been 6-1 at the end of the season, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he lost his playoff match last week to Mojo, which is why he has 4 losses. Even though that match didn't count towards the actual match, it was added in, because it was indeed played. But yeah, I don't really have a good guess. I mean, this is a match obviously I did guess the Quaz guess for the F2L match, and I mean I could do that this time, but I just think all of these. I think Based is probably. I think Base versus Superhero is the most favored match towards one player in the entire series. Yeah, so, and I guess maybe I don't know much. I don't know much about anybody on the cooler besides I know everyone has been praising how good Snipe Hunter is as a player. I really don't know much about the other 4 players. I've seen Icer play, but don't know much about him. It's I can't say for sure what the actual difference is. I just think I know how good Based is, and I know how good Neji is, and Diamond's PR. He came in so low in PR this season. He's 8-1. He's gotten such a huge PR boost this season. So I'm just so. This is just a team I want to see win. Just gonna do my absolute best to get my team through the week with prep and playing myself, obviously, and it's I guess just best of luck to both of our teams, and obviously I obviously hope my team wins, but it'll be a hard fought series.
I will say actually, really quickly, I'll just butt in here. One of Snipe Hunter's losses actually is when I played him actually. So I did beat him just barely in a game 5. It went to game 5. But you, Dr. Fish, you beat me
I beat you
when we played the other time. So by extension, maybe that means that Dr. Fish could beat Snipe Hunter. So
Sure.
we'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that means counting that in, it means both of Snipe Hunter's losses that weren't DQs were game 5s.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. For sure. I'm very excited to play my match this week. But we do have 2 more matches to go over. So we have and I want to get through them pretty fast because we have to transition into casting Wicked Wednesday after this. So we have Hot Zilfs versus All Points Matter, Coles versus Avi, Vino Spumoni versus Cheesy 10, Donde versus The Chosen Pie, Chronic versus 2-Star Mako, and it looks like Saku will be once again subbing in for Hot Zilfs against Laughing Frog.
For Gymphalos.
Yeah, for Gymphalos. These teams definitely play in the regular season. They're both in Silver Conference. And so these teams are familiar with each other, and that's always interesting. See how it goes. Seeding for neither team has changed. I think I think Coles versus Avi. It's playoff it's Coles in playoffs. Watching him. I guess Avi's also a really good player, and especially when it comes to playoffs. I believe both players having won titles. I think Coles will take it this time.
Obviously.
I think Coles.
Sorry.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. So I think Coles in the 1. Vino versus Cheesy 10. I'm gonna say Cheesy 10 takes it in the 2. Donde versus Pi. They had an excellent match last time they played. I believe I was able to cast it. And so I think Donde took that one, and I think he's gonna take it again. Donde in the 3. Chronic versus Mako. I think Chronic takes that, and then I think Laughing Frog will win over my good friend, the man who taught me how to op, Saku. Just based on the fact that Saku really hasn't played that much this season.
Yeah, unfortunately, Saku last week took 2 sweep losses in the 2 places he subbed. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he can bounce back from that.
For sure.
I feel like this is just like it's very interesting to see these two teams from the same comp coming at each other, knowing one of them had to had to win a match to get to the. One of them got the bye.
Sure.
But it's tough because I feel like, despite that, they're way closer than you would think, just based on like their overall progression this season.
Sure.
Yeah. Last time, APM did end up winning against Hot Zilfs, and I probably should have brought it up for myself before actually saying that. So they played in All Points Matter 116-11 in the main season. It was Avi, Cheesy, and Laughing Frog winning with the other 2 games going to Game 5.
Right.
So I'm going to say, man, it feels like it should go pretty similarly this time. However, I cannot deny that Hot Zilfs with Coles in playoffs is a recipe for finals, a recipe for winning championships. And they did some crazy things last time. They were in playoffs with Coles. If that upset were to happen, then my predictions would be that instead of focusing on who would win, maybe I'll just say that Venus Pomoni and Saku would be the ones to lose here, and then some unnamed players would find wins here. Including Coles and Chronic.
He's actually picking Donde to win this week.
I'm not picking Donde to win. I'm saying that's if they were.
You are upset. Teetering on the edge, sir.
Yeah, that being said, All Points Matter is going to 5-0. Screw you.
Yeah, I'm just going to be like that.
The Donde hate train as we're going to...
Wow. That's amazing.
That escalated quickly.
I had to.
You had to push his buttons.
Oh yeah,
you had to.
Oh yeah.
I'm mad.
Because Donde's like, because I give Donde fair shake every time. I don't always pick him to win. I don't always pick him to lose.
Same.
So it's fun. It's funny to like. Obviously, it's like I think this match is gonna be fantastic. And APM earned the right to have the bye week. So, they're super solid team. I'm sure Bone Master will have them. Bone Master will have the players ready to go.
I mean, like, both of these teams very much deserve to be here.
Yeah.
This was just incredibly close.
Mm-hmm.
Week, so in a way, it seems fitting that.
I think your mic might have cut out. Turn it off.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep, perfect.
Jesus. Son of a gun.
It was only for a little bit, though.
It was just like the last 10 seconds.
I was gonna say that seems to happen from time to time.
It sometimes does. It hasn't been as bad. It hasn't been as bad in the last, most of the weeks.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Is there anything else? I feel like for me, I'm gonna go matter here. I'm gonna back up my buddy Bone Masher, my captain. God, I really, in a way, I wish both of these teams could make it in the semifinals. Truth be told,
mm-hmm.
I feel the most strongly about that. about that when it comes to this match compared to any of the 4 matches that.
Yeah, you're.
I think you raised your noise gate on your microphone a bit too high, so you just like sometimes when you speak a bit quietly, it just doesn't come through.
Oy vey. I lowered it a little now.
Okay.
All right.
I tried to compensate and I over.
Yeah, you ove. Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah. Are there any more words? Did we get everyone's opinion here?
No,
Yeah, I was yeah. Sorry. I'll go quick. I'll rapid fire.
Okay.
I think I was on oh, this is what it was. When I was on the Donde and Raw Mexico and Quaz's legacy team, just that one season, and or no, that might have been
You were
Hero.
on
That might have been
wherever
Hero.
wherever I may roam. Yeah,
That was on Hero.
that
I
was Hero.
apologize.
Yeah,
So,
I love that team.
and then Coles was on their legacy equivalent. So I was always hearing about how good Coles was and
Mhm.
is, and so I think that definitely Coles is a force to be reckoned with. I'm gonna say his in the 1, and then I'm gonna say let's see here. I'm gonna say Cheesy 10 takes it in the 2. Chosen Pie takes it in the 3. Is that Chronic?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
right?
Chronic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chronic takes it in the 4, and then I think Laughing Frog will take it in the 5.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that would be a win for all APM. So,
Awesome. So, yeah, that's fantastic match. We have one more to go over. And so, Roadrunner, why don't you go ahead and give us the match rundown and your thoughts on this last one?
absolutely. Okay, so we got F2L White versus Defias, and I believe Defias was they were the champions last time, right?
Yes.
They won the whole thing for Legacy. Yeah. So we got for F2L White in the 1 seed, we have Rabobson versus Wild 9 at the top of the lineup for Defias. And then we have Myanodon in the 2 versus Classy Thug. Then we have Slod versus Nebkanuk. Then we have Infall versus the Real Lure. And then we have Totino's Pizza versus Azuma. So yeah, this is a really interesting match too. I think that Rebob takes it in the 1. I think Myanodon will take it in the 2. Nebkanuk will take it in the 3. Enfall will take it in the 4. And then I think Totino's Pizza will take it in the 5. So that would be, let's see here. That's a win for F2L by my prediction. So I think Nebkanuk might win for Devias, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like they're not maybe as strong this season as, I don't know. I mean, I know they won last season, and
Yeah. The
they did
season
super well
seating's
last
slightly
season.
different from the seating is
Yeah.
slightly different, but
Fair
I think
enough.
Comp was playing the 4, and so
Oh,
was
yeah,
so
that's
Lure was
right.
the 5.
That's right. Yes, because I remember playing Lure. I
Yeah.
don't know really Azuma, but
I played
yeah.
Azuma this season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they swept me.
Oh,
They're
wow.
quite good.
I don't think I realized that. Oh.
Yeah. I got swept by Azuma and I swept Totino's in the season. It's funny because like I look at it
Same.
and I don't think that my result against them has any bearing on the match
Fair enough.
because
Yeah.
it's been a while since it has been pretty much a while since I played since I went up against Azuma.
Yeah. Sure. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Hmm,
They've had a good season though. I mean, 6 and
Yeah.
4. That's very
Oh,
respectable.
definitely. Yeah.
sure.
They got a good win in playoffs last week to help their team get through.
Yeah.
I So we have F2L in the Fias. F12 White being the fourth bye team, they had more points than all points matter, but because the top three teams from the conferences automatically get that 1 through 3. F12 White is in the 4 seed. I will quickly say, I think Rebob takes it in the 1, Classy Thug in the 2, Slod in the 3. I'll see Anfall in the 4, Totino's in the 5. I'll see Azuma in the 5 for a little PR shape, for a little, like, it's not too big of a PR difference. But I think that Azuma's an excellent player. And I think Azuma will give a fight. That'll probably be a 5-game set. For sure. But I think F12 moves on.
Yeah. I mean, I would have said that so many times about Defias last season, that their opponents move on. And yet, they won the entire thing. Their players are just so solid.
Yeah.
Classy Thug last season basically just had his numbers swapped. He was 7-3, and then I think like 10-3 by the end of the season. And yeah, Nepkanak, similar win rate. I mean, he is just proving that he knows the 3. Yeah, he did lose last week, so he used to be 8-1.
Yeah.
Before last week. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Defias beat that team anyways. Doesn't matter which team that was. And
Thanks.
yeah.
Oh no.
I think Defias will squeak this one through as well. Yeah, I think you know, Wild9 always looks like the underdog for whatever reason, and then just proves that he isn't. So
no, yeah, Wild9's excellent. Yeah,
I think he's gonna win. I think Nebkanak's gonna win. I think Azuma's gonna win, and maybe throw in a Classy Thug too. I think it's gonna be a Defias win.
I mean, I think we're past the point where you're allowed to sleep on Wild9.
no, I just
feel like
I'm just done picking against Rebob. I'm just done picking against Rebob.
No, that's totally
this show.
fair, but it's like
I picked against him in Bro.
Fair.
I did not pick. I will never pick against him in Hero. He is the hard carry of our team, for sure.
I mean, Rebob is really strong. It's just that, like, you know, I am going to give him the edge here, but I also think Wild is.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, he's a guy who, like, I've said this on the show before. He came in as a 3 seed for Good Luck Albatrosses several seasons ago, and you know, he did a good job, but he didn't really make like
Albatross, yeah.
What?
No, never mind. I was getting the team names mixed up in my.
Oh, okay. He came in. He didn't make a huge name for himself right then and there, but he caught people's attention. And then over the next few seasons, he has like been just proving that he belongs in that 1 seed more so. And like, well, right, like now he has that 550. It's like he's clearly like you're past the point where you on him. Like you can like this is a man with mad skills, and he's taken names at this point. So I do think Rebob has the edge mostly because he's got an insane record right now, and he is a dominant force for F2L White. But of all the matches that I would be most surprised that I would be expecting an upset from, this is the one I would still be the least surprised by, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you think that Wild9, if you're underestimating Wild9 in the 1, remember he listens to K-pop while he plays.
Also, but let's also
that I forgot about.
I also amazing. Just quickly, I want to point out that Rebob actually has finally hit 550 in Legacy. He flirted with 550 like 2 or 3 seasons ago. Proceeds to have like a poor season and an evening season, and now this season. So he's almost 550 in Hero and Legacy. So big ups to him. And yeah, I'll let everyone else do their thing because we should be finishing soon to get to your match.
Right, but I will just say on that note though, one fun fact about that was that Rebob actually everybody thought a couple seasons ago Rebob was going to make it to 550 after he got a big win. but he barely missed because
He
he
was
didn't get enough PR from his win.
549 point something. That was
Oh
below
my
50.
gosh.
He was like 549 point like 4 or
It
0.3.
was
That's
heartbreaking.
crazy.
Yeah,
Genuinely
it
heartbreaking
was
because
heartbreaking.
he deserved that 550.
Yeah, that was when he was on. I believe he was actually on Zilfs back then too.
Yes, he was because he's been on Zilfs.
Yeah, because he was on Zilfs, and I think
He's been on.
Then I think
He's
he
been on
took it.
Actuality the last 3 seasons, and this was before.
Yeah,
that.
he took like one season off Legacy, and then he made F12 white again. So, or maybe for the first time, I don't really actually know. But anyways, any final words before we close this up so we can get over to JR's match?
No, I think that covers it.
All right.
I'm just gonna say I echo Jareen. I think Defias is gonna win this one 3-2.
Mhm.
I think, not just because they beat my team last week, but because I think that this is a team that we've spent too much time underestimating, and especially knowing they're coming in as the most recent champions. I feel like I feel like this could really be their championship to lose. Really. So we shall see.
Indeed, we shall see. So now I have put us back to the home screen. So thank you to our guest Roadrunner for coming on graciously and giving his input on the matches, obviously, and just good conversation all around.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all. Happy to come out. So
Awesome. Yeah, and obviously JR and Geranium, thank you as always for a wonderful show. This has been a great time doing this with all of you. So we have some matches going on this week. We have right after this, we're gonna have JR Dracula versus Jammies and Hero to start off here our Hero semifinals matches. For match streams, anyways, because there has been a match played already in that series. And so that'll be right after this. On Thursday night, we have 10 p.m. Legacy quarterfinals, always just in time versus Lawful Dog. So that's gonna be super exciting. I don't know who both of the casters are, but I do know that Heat Shock will be one of our casters for that. 8 and 9 p.m. I would like to fill out the 9 p.m. slot before I fill out the 8 p.m. slot. So if we get people for both of those time slots, I can go ahead and just we can do matches for that whole night. Otherwise, we'll just have the one so far. Friday night fight. Saku has already said there will not be a stream for that. So unfortunately, no Friday night. Saturday night, I don't know what Wild 9 has or does not have. I believe he may have mentioned that he's not able to opt this week, but I will do my best to try and opt Saturday if I can, or somebody else will hopefully be able to do it. And then Sunday night we have a pretty full slate of matches going on. We have Lotus Knight versus your Mumket in Pro, followed by this is tentative Skirt Reynolds versus Kotamura. And then we have Agent PWE versus McBannerface. I think the reason that the Legacy match is tentative is because that's probably the final match of the series. So there's a chance it doesn't have to be played. But otherwise, we'll have that match if it goes to 5 in Just Win versus Chaos Theory. And yeah, also we get 2 matches from Brushy Tuna versus MPH. We get Lotus and Ked versus Agent. And then Agent versus McBannerface. I'm very excited for those matches. And I would guess we're going to get Dollar Bills and Myanodon on the cast for that. And those two are fantastic.
I love that combo.
I love those two guys.
That.
Love those two guys.
They are a great pair.
I've had
It's a classic Sunday Showdown sandwich of 2 matches from the same series.
Yes.
On either end.
Yeah, and then followed by especially in playoffs, followed by a match that probably doesn't happen because of the series ending. But yeah, nothing really planned for the weekend. If you want to play Nothing really planned for like Saturday or Sunday school stone.
Mhm.
I'm not very available on Saturdays due to one of my match times being right in that time slot. Sunday, potentially, that also probably would depend on my other match that I have to play. But regardless, if you want to get your match streams, you can go to the stream match request channel in the Discord, and you can contact any of the people who do stream operating, and hopefully we'll be able to get you on stream. So yeah, yes, I will just quickly close this out by saying thank you for everybody in chat for being here and for chatting along with us. And we will see you all back very shortly for Wicked Wednesday. So have a great night, everybody. If you don't stay for the match, but otherwise we will see you there.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Night.
Wrong screen.